This is Ned. He is one very good-looking man. Just look at his gorgeous chin.
What the dog doing?
Did you know that sexy-looking chin is filled with cells?
Let's zoom in into the cells of this marvelous chin.
You serious?
As we all know, every organism goes through an interesting cycle we call life.
Since we also know that cells are the basic unit of life, they live and die just like us. But if they die, how do they keep doing the functions that they need to perform?
The answer is pretty simple. If a cell dies, they can make new cells using the process known as reproduction.
Indeed, the process of reproduction that a cell goes through is called mitosis, which is a part of the life cycle of a cell, conveniently called the cell cycle.
The cell cycle is divided into three main parts. The first being interphase, which is divided into three parts. Mitosis, which is divided into four parts. And finally, cytokinesis, a fancy word to describe the division of the cytoplasm of a cell.
The three parts of the interphase are called gap 1, synthesis, and gap 2. Gap 1 is a section of the interphase in which the cell does its regular functions. So in other words, just living its life. It is in synthesis where things start to change a little bit. This section of interphase is where the cell starts to make a copy of its DNA, but does not condense it into things called chromosomes. This process is also known as DNA replication. Gap 2 is a stage of interphase in which the cell is in preparation for its division, in other words, getting ready for mitosis.
Ah, yes, the moment has come to start talking about the process that produces the cells that make up Ned's sexy-looking chin. It's mitosis.
In fact, the time has come. The incredible state of mitosis is what creates to replace damaged or worn out cells. But let's be honest, Ned's chin is already perfect, so there's no need for replacement.
Mitosis, also called the mitotic phase, is divided into four main parts. The first being the prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase, also known as PMET.
The prophase is the first stage of mitosis in which the nuclear envelope begins to break up and disappear, like your dad. And chromatin, which is just DNA, RNA, and protein in the form of yarn, is condensed into chromosomes, a thread-like structure that contains the genetic material of the cell. This is also the stage in which centrioles, the organelle, that makes spindle fibers go to opposite ends of the cell and they start creating them. The next stage of mitosis is called the metaphase, where the centrioles and spindle fibers are attached to the chromosomes that have been moved to the middle of the cell to later be spread out in the next stage, anaphase.
Anaphase is the stage in which spindle fibers are getting longer and the cells start to become thick. The spindle fibers are pulling apart the sister chromatids until individual chromosomes are created. The final stage of mitosis, telophase, is where two new nuclei with the chromosomes inside of them are created. This is when the spindle network breaks apart due to now being useless, like homework.
We are now in the last stage of the cell cycle, cytokinesis. Cytokinesis is just a fancy word which describes the process of the division of the cytoplasm of a cell. In this stage, the cytoplasm pinches in half, and behold, a new cell is created.
This insane process called the cell cycle is what makes up every single part of our body.
The cell cycle is the reason why we heal from paper cuts, which, Nick, they do exist, scraped skin, and even broken bones. So for once, let us admire the insane process that makes up who we are. Oh. And
One more thing.
Among Us.